You know, that's a lot of inputting into the evidence. And then they test and they come back and you want to cross your T's and dot your I's and make sure search and seizure, you do it all the right way. If you need a warrant, get a warrant so that those cases don't go away.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you do shoddy police work and you don't pay attention to search and seizure and Fourth Amendment, and those things get lost, and you could have just messed up a whole homicide investigation because you lost the weapon and the gun because you got to it illegally. You know, it wasn't a validated search.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine in Portland that, my understanding, the cop lost his job over him. He had he didn't have a concealed carry, but he had a loaded firearm on his hip. And they took 21 rounds from him. And the officer handed him the property receipt for 21 rounds. They got him because he was carrying a loaded weapon, loaded pistol. And he's like, I didn't know that it was, you needed a concealed carry to carry it on your hip. That's not cool. And so he got out of jail. They dropped the charges. He went to go get his gun back, and there were 6 bullets missing. Right? And instead of it saying 21, it was 21 minus 6. I'm not sure what the number is. But he turned around and he's like, I had 21 bullets. Here's my property receipt. What happened to my bullets? And they're like, we don't know. Only this many were checked in here. So there's an argument back and forth. And then when he was out, someone got shot with one of his bullets. And the detectives went to him and said, hey, check this out. Your gun was involved in the shooting. And he's like, no. Well, we think it was because these bullets were taken from you when you were arrested. He goes, no. He goes, I'm missing 6 bullets. So he called up to complain to the officer, and they go, well, he's on vacation. Okay. So he called up a week later. They said, he's on vacation for a couple of weeks. So it was good. Then a couple weeks later, they called him up, and the sergeant got on the phone and talked to him and said, he no longer works for Portland PD.
Well, and that's the thing is you find the biggest thing that loses your job is just honesty, right?
Yeah.
If you mess up, right? Like, I've had times where, you know, I arrest somebody on a warrant and I'm searching them, and then I'm setting the stuff on the hood, you know, and things like maybe he's all upset and I get distracted and I drive off, and then the wallet was on the car and now it's gone. Right? And just the truthfulness of like, yeah, there's no car. I failed to check or secure it. I lost it somewhere between here and there. Go look for it. Couldn't find it. You file the proper paperwork and say, yeah, I lost this prisoner's stuff. But say, no, he never had a wallet or anything like that, where people are like trying to cover up like what they did. And it's like that little thing right there just ruins it. And I still don't get why around the country cops will lie about the stupidest things. Right?
Yeah.
And just the little things. And that's part of the public trust and truthfulness. If you mess up, just like the speech I give people that I arrest when they get in trouble, I'm like, you made a mistake. It's accountability, and it's on my side too. And that's what we're all trying to get is accountability and have you not doing this again anymore. But it's on both sides.
Right.
It's that trust and that hopefully they start able to hire some more and things and the pendulum swings around a little bit.
I don't know about hiring anymore. I mean, Portland said they hired 16.
Well, now there's a huge backlog at the academy, at the state academy.
Yeah.
We have to hire people and kind of warehouse them for like, one guy we just hired, he doesn't go to the academy until October.
Right.
And so it's like you have to hire him, otherwise you lose him to another place that's going to warehouse him.
Yeah.
And it's not like it was when I first hired, I first hired like 3,000 people go out, for 25 positions. Now it's like nobody wants to do the job.
Yeah, it's But you got to remember, the state academy does the whole state. So you got people in Eastern Oregon where there's a lot of people over there that respect the police, and the police ought to be respected. And a lot of people there want to join the police. But yeah, I mean, I've talked to security guards and I said, hey, Portland's looking for a few good people, and they're like, no, thank you.
It's definitely hard. You live under the microscope.
Yeah.
If I don't do something, then I'm chastised. If I do something, I'm chastised.
Yeah.
The thing is, too, is we get it from not just the public, right, being critical. We get it from our own command staff, you know, with policies and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get it from the DA's office. You know, and then you go to trial and you get, you know, the defense attorneys, they're doing their job,
Mm-hmm.
part of the system. And then, you know, for a while, then you just feel like everybody, what the heck? Like, I'm just trying to do the right thing.
Right.
Also, I think it's also, I tell you guys all the time, knowledge is power. Know the laws, know what you can and can't do, ask questions, learn,
Mm-hmm.
and then move on from there. And then that's fine. If you want to really truly have a passion and want to do the job for the reasons.
Right. But that's gonna be a hard sell right there.
And it's hard making up for it. It's not like a job where you know, a new applicant comes in, you're like, hey, can you start tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
He's got an badge and a car and go out there and handle some calls. It's like probably like 18 months to get him in the academy, get him trained up.
Yeah.
If they, you know, they do well and they pass their probation, their field training stuff, and you know, because a lot of them wash out and figure out this isn't the job for me, or
Yeah.
and then if they pass all that stuff, you know, it's like, yeah, you hire 6, but then maybe 3 of them don't make it or 2 don't make it, and then you're starting from scratch on those. And by the time they're going to be productive, where the citizens are going to see the increased police, then you have people retiring. So it's like one of those things of you have to pre-plan years.
Mhm.
That's, I think, what didn't happen. You know, it's like we're not backfilling these. No, we're not giving you more money for your budget to hire this many over. And then you have all these people that come up on their retirement and say, you know what, done with this.
Mm-hmm.
That might have hung on in there for a few more years if the culture and the politics were different. And so they retired early, and then everybody's like, oh man, everybody's short. And it's like, well, you didn't plan for these people that could go. And
Yeah.
now you're behind the power curve, and that's really hard when it takes that long to get somebody new on the street.
Well, yeah, because, you know, they got to do, what, 8 weeks at the academy, or?
I think they just lengthened, no, it's the length of the military one, but the police one I still think is like 16 weeks.
16 weeks?
Yeah.
So that's a chunk of time.
And then once they get out of the academy, then they start their field training process that can last anywhere from like, I think on average is like 6 months, 8 months, just to get them up to our policies and handling calls and being evaluated by a coach on everything, you know, how you talk to people, like your knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
how to investigate different crimes.
Right.
Yeah, and the other thing transforming is like just trying to figure out like what the public wants us to do. All right, Bob, I'll let you get going. I'm gonna go try to find some stolen cars or
Okay.
something.
All right.
Something worthwhile.
You be safe. It was nice talking to you.
Bob, always.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
All right. You too.